Yo, what's up, YouTube? It's Mr.BuyTheDip back here with another video. What a day today we had in the stock market, okay? We look at this recovery from last week. I want you guys to realize the money isn't made here, okay? Today is where we sit back and watch the show. I want you to realize that if you are an investor right now in 2025, you have very different sentiments. You have very different mindsets going into every single investment, okay? You're thinking about tariffs. You're thinking about Trump calling out all these plays for different countries for goods being exported, right? And you're very nervous. Well, let me tell you what, the people who striked when there was fear in the market right now is where they're making the money, up 3.62%. This is my portfolio this week, and I say the big hitter is AMD. Hello, AMD, back at 115. I like to see this price point. I told you guys, set some of these plays, cancel all the noise, and let it ride out, okay? There is some, there's obviously some type of news that always goes on with whatever pushes that is in the market. I'm not focusing on that, okay? Right now, I'm just talking about price points. I'm not specifically talking about one stock today, but I just want to show you guys what I mean by investing at a young age. That $1,000, that $2,000 that you save up when you're 16, 17, 18, right? That is good. Budget that out. You always want to invest in yourself, whether that's your business, whether that's college, okay? You always want to invest in yourself, but making sure you have a little bit of money that is working for you is very important, okay? I was looking at my portfolio today, and I was like, the power of compound interest, okay? Long-term stocks, and you have and a tool like CashApp where you could get started. These are three great things that you could put together, okay? First of all, let's talk about compound interest. The earlier you start investing, the more time your money has to grow. You want to make your money work for you. This $916 currently, okay, the current position I am in my life, okay, it is not going to be a big amount in the next year or two, because I'm going to make triple that. I'm going to make double that in the next 3 months, in the next 4 months, in the next 5 months, right? So why not start proportioning a little bit of that money right now so you can invest? That is something that needs to be taught since literally the day you walk into high school, so literally the day you walk into middle school, right? But it takes more, it takes more time to perfect these things. You might listen about it in your your economy class or when you're studying economics, but these are some things that you have to do on your own. Realizing that Nvidia is down right now, but 122 is a price point where you start buying, right? Because this is going back to 140. We've already recovered from last week. Last week was a scary week. I thought we were going to plummet down and really break 115 again, right? But we strike up. We build new resistance level of 119. Today, we strike through that 120. We're back in it, right? So why do this? Well, even small investments can turn into large sums over decades thanks to compound. Okay, what does compounding mean? Well, $100 up, let's say 9%, okay, is less than $1,000 up 9%. Now, when you take 100K and you put that 100K up 9%, 10%, you're gonna get more money putting 100K down than putting $10,000 down, right? It's just learning how to work with percents of money, okay? If your money's up 90% on $2, you're not making anything. But if that 90% is up on 50,000, 60,000, think about how much money you're making then, okay? Long-term growth, always have an ETF in your portfolio. I'm a younger guy, but I still have my S&P 500, okay? I see this recover to 575, 580, right? I'm buying more by the end of this week, 585, maybe 590, 589, whatever I can catch it at, lower than my risk cost per share, okay? These are things you need to realize when investing into the market, that it is not how you invest, it is how much you invest and when you invest it. The key point to always investing money is making sure you're patient and you know how long you want to hold a certain stock out, okay? This is up 1.78%. This is going to 630, 640 by the end of this year, okay? Patience is key. If you want to build wealth, you want to build money that is going to help you retire, okay? An ETF is very important, okay? Because these stocks, Nvidia, Walmart, Reality Income, AMD, these could plummet by the next month or so. I'm not saying it's going to happen, right? Because these are strong businesses, right? But a risky stock like Nvidia, another company could say, oh, our chip is better. The market settles on that chip. And what happens to this stock? Well, it plummets down, okay? So make sure you're really focused on these things and carefully watching these things as you're going day by day, trying to trying to set out your portfolios for success. Okay, VOO. So this is another Vanguard S&P 500, tracks the S&P 500 stock, and it historically, okay, has an annual return of 8 to 10% annually. What this means is yearly, it's going to go up about 10 to 8%. Now, an individual stock like Nvidia or Walmart is going to go up way more than that. I want you guys to realize these stocks are going to go up way more than an ETF, right? Because it's one single company. Okay, it's not a diverse, low risk, low reward investment. This is a higher risk investment. But when you have something like an ETF, you have a low risk investment that is kind of secured for the next 5 years. Walmart, Nvidia, okay, you could say Walmart is secure for the next 5 years, but do I think Nvidia is secure for the next 5 years? That's more of a tricky question, right? Now, yearly, again, up 10%. It's right where analysts have it set out based on, history and based on how they've done in the past. So this is approximately what you're looking at year to year on your money. So if you're doing $200 every month, 5 months, that's $1,000. 10 months, you got $2,000 in there, and that's going to be up about, let's say, 12% by the end of a year. And you can do this when you're investing at a very young age. You don't know how to invest, that's fine. Find an ETF, load that up, wait about 6-7 years, keep a routine of investing consistently, and you'll see how that grows, okay? Investing on CashApp 13 to 17. This is a tool I want a lot of people to use. If you're 27, 28, 29, you got kids right now, right? I want you, the first thing you do when they're 10, 11, 12 years old, create investing accounts for them, okay? Always have that college fund, right? But this can literally change their lives. The reason why I love Cash App is because it allows teens, with parent approval, obviously, okay, to invest. You can buy fractional shares. So I can put in just $1 into whatever stock I want. You're not going to have $1,000, $3,000 when you're 13, 14, right? So work a little bit. You can do a little bit of chores, right? Get paid. Put some of that money into your stock. This builds habits. These build consistent habits at a very young age. You don't see a lot of NBA players that start playing for 2 years and boom, they're in the NBA. It doesn't work like that, right? Building wealth takes time. Everything takes time. You don't pass a test doing one homework assignment, right? So same with investing. You're not going to become a millionaire when you're 40, 45, 30, 35 by investing just when you're 25. Okay, your $1,000 is absolutely, it's not going to do severe damage in the market, but it is going to do damage. Okay, I'm currently at $916. I want to grow this to $1,000 to $1,200, but I do realize that there's a lot of changes that I need to make in the coming future. I need to put more money into Walmart. I need to find better price points for Nvidia, right? These things are not going to come until you don't sit down and watch and analyze these stocks. So if you could do it through Cash App and you can learn how the stock market works as a teenager, this is going to set you for success in the next 5-6 years. So when you're 13, 14, 15, you can ask your mom, dad, or your dad, mom, whoever can approve you to invest, right? You can be ahead of the game. A lot of people don't start investing until they get their first big job out of college, 24, 25, 23, right? So the reason why it is key to be ahead of the game, because you're already going to understand the markets better. When is the market in a bear run? When are we in a bullish run? What is the most exciting news in the market? Is it because somebody said something during their elections, right? Small things like this could be very beneficial. And if you're a parent, you could really, you can really tune in and kind of see what kind of moves your child is making on their Cash App. And you can see the history, like what stocks they're buying. So that's why this is one of those tools that you need to use. It's like a lot of people don't realize I know what I'm talking about because I invested in this ETF back in 2024, right? And I didn't hold it. I didn't add enough money. I was investing really a little bit amount of money when I started out, right? And I didn't realize the power of letting your money grow over time. If I would have invested $500, $200, $300 back here, I would have been up making money regardless of this pushback down of 10 to 15%. I even could have sold this ETF up 14, 17%, right? That's another option I had. Okay, you can always take out your profits and go back in at a way lower price, right? So once you realize these small things, these small basic things, by just investing at a young age, these could affect you in a positive way later on in life. So getting a head start on your journey, by starting young, you develop good financial habits early. Like I said, these habits is what's going to cause you to be very efficient with your money. Okay, when that biweekly paycheck comes and it's 700, 600, and you're 17, 16, first thing you're going to say is, oh, I need to save some, invest some, then I can spend the rest. Okay, your future itself will thank you for building wealth instead of just saving cash. Okay, it's very important to save cash as a secure backbone, but you need to realize being able to invest is also a very helpful tool, because it's going to help you generate more income. Okay, thank you guys for watching another exciting day in the market. I want to see where this next month or so is going to take us, because a push up like this is only more hope in the future. And when I have a portfolio with AMD, Nvidia, and I see Walmart, S&P 500, I see everything up today, this means everything could be down tomorrow or next week. But the thing we need to realize is when it's down, we take advantage and we buy. Okay, and we did that, and now we're reaping the rewards. And hopefully I'm going to add more money, and I'm going to show you guys how I'm going to turn this thing around by the end of 2025. I will be in profit with Walmart. I will be in profit with Nvidia. I will be in profit with the S&P 500. Okay,